Hello and welcome to another Arkeys video and to a new 2 million credit time trial challenge on Gran Turismo 7. This time we are at Spa and we are in the Alfa Romeo 4C and we are on sports medium tires. As usual, I gave this an hour to see how fast I could go, and then for some variation I jumped into the VR headset to see if there were any further improvements. And if this is your first time watching and you are enjoying the video, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It is highly appreciated. Now let's get on with my first attempts here. This is Saturday. The challenge has been on for a couple of days already. I've been away on Christmas holidays, so I am going to be rusty picking up a prize for the Shelby challenge. And now we are jumping in to this one. And we've got a 242.7 to beat to get the gold, and we also got some rust to brush off as I haven't been on the game for more than a week now. I'm braking too early, doing that silly downshift, almost hitting the wall on the inside because I was getting slowed down too early. Here I lift off and turn right way too late, so I'm running off the track. Let's try to get that right this time. Lifting off a bit earlier, so this time we make it through Radion, and now we are coming to the chicane at the end of the straight, down into third gear. I'm trying to go through these corners in fourth gear. I think I prefer to stay in third and then upshift to fourth coming through this corner. Now we're coming down towards this long hairpin sort of corner at the bottom of the hill. Not really the bottom of the hill because we are still going downhill. Now we are coming into, I believe this one is called No Name Corner, correct me if I'm wrong. Also a corner I really struggle with. And now it's time for Puon. I'm trying to stay in fourth gear. I tried a bit of different stuff, clearly not using all the track here and still almost running off the track on the exit. Coming through these corners, rather wobbly. Make sure not to hit the bollards, that will instantly invalidate your lap. And now this corner, I also find this a tricky one to get right. Keep the speed going without just understeering off the track. A small lift to get through this corner, and then we are coming into this fast left-hander. And unfortunately, I am running wide. I decided to continue my lap just to see what sort of time I was getting. So we are getting through the bus stop chicane, and let's see, up to third gear for the exit here, and we are going to go across the line in a 242.495. so that was actually gold if I hadn't got that lap invalidated, but I tried to keep going. I slightly overcooked turn 1, as you can see, getting a really poor exit, and later on this lap that wasn't that good at all. I also overshoot the bus stop chicane by a lot, so we are just crawling through here and losing loads of time, and we are going across the line in a 244.351. so that was my first actual lap. I tried to keep going. My turn 1 is definitely going to be better, braking roughly at the 100 board. But yeah, you can see now the time is certainly improving. But as we go over the hill, I go slightly wide and we have to start again. Coming into turn 1, I am trying to avoid that silly downshift exploit where you just slam the gears all the way down to the lowest gear you need. Mostly because of aesthetic reasons. I just find it more enjoyable to try to downshift sort of properly. Yeah, we are running wide again. After 27 kilometers of crashing, I am going to get gold on this lap. We are getting around turn 1, upshifting to third gear for the exit, trying to get as straight a line out of there as possible, getting up Radion, and at the end of the straight, I'm looking for the 100 board on the inside. I'm coming in a bit too hot here. You can see that compromised my line, and that is just going to mess up all the following corners, including this right-hander, which is one I really struggle to get right to carry the speed through that. This one isn't that tricky, just make sure to be patient around that one. This one is a tricky one as well. It's almost like turn 3 on Branch Hatch, where you try to carry the speed, don't run wide. Now we are going through Puon. I am still trying just to stay in 4th gear. And yeah, we make it around here. Let's stay on. Ooh, I almost lost it there actually. Looking at the big gantry over the track for a reference for this corner. A bit clumsy through these corners. You can see almost going to be a bit hesitant coming through these corners. I'm using the start of the green part of the fence on the right hand side as a braking reference coming down the hill. That's the main tricky thing with this track, that you have so many downhill sections, and that just enhances all the weight transfer and all the car movements. You really have to be aware of that. Now I am using the line over the track before the 150 board as a reference for my slow reaction time. It sort of suits me good to use that line. We can get back to that later. We are going across the line in a 242.363. That is gold, and I try to keep going, and things are going okay, unfortunately, until the end of this lap only, because I think we are going to get a bit too greedy through the bus stop, and you can see I get the lap invalidated, and that's going to invalidate the following lap. So we are going to restart, and on the following restarted lap I managed to improve by exactly 3/10, and we are almost into the 41s. So we are going to continue on this lap down to 2nd, up to 3rd gear, trying not to exploit that downshifting. Sometimes I do it by accident, but I prefer to avoid it. And yeah, we'll get back to Radion later, but you really have to make sure that you get your turn in done at the bottom of the hill when you have some weight on the tires. We do a better job through these corners this time, and yeah, avoiding the bollards on the inside, and coasting through in 3rd gear up to 4th gear. And let's see, now I'm down to 3rd gear. It makes the car rotate a bit too aggressively for my taste. I think I found a better way, for me at least, later on in this one. And let's get through these corners. This is all about the exit of this left-hander. It's so easy to overcook the first part of these corners and then run wide. We keep it on the track, looking for the start of the green part of the fence on the right-hand side, making our way through this corner. This time in 3rd gear. I was doing both 3rd and 4th gear out of that corner. Didn't really decide what was best. Lifting off to make sure to stay on the track, and be careful when you reapply the power. It's easy to still run wide. Using that line across the track, it's like cross the line, hit the brake, sort of in that tempo. That seems to work for me. Up to 3rd gear, a bit of a clumsy exit. You can see now I'm losing time, but we are going to get into the 41s with a 241.881. And now I'm going to park the car. We have done 20 minutes and 50 kilometers. And yeah, it took some time for me to improve even further, but this is going to be an improvement on this lap. So using the 100 board, downshifting, down to 2nd gear, up to 3rd gear, trying to get as close to the wall as possible. And now we're coming in, and this is where you want to lift off. You're coming sort of into the hill. That's where you've got the most weight on the front tires. After that, it's mostly understeer, and you will lose so much time trying to correct the car after that. Making our way through these corners. Here I noticed I am actually turning in a bit too early. I was paying too much attention to the ghost and saw the ghost turn in, but I was behind the ghost. Really need to just mind my own lines instead. Making our way around this long corner, and let's see, can we carry the speed? Coasting in 3rd gear, up to 4th gear. Careful when getting back on the power, so you don't just slide sideways. Using 3rd gear again. I'm not sure I like that. At least I use all of the track this time. It looks like I'm getting a decent exit out of Puon, and let's see, can I keep it cool through these corners, trying to get a good line into this left-hander so we can stay on the track. Things are looking good. Remember to brake early. This is downhill. really getting close to the bollards there, up to 4th gear, and now just a small lift into this corner to make sure we don't run wide on the exit. Also a small lift coming through here. Make sure to be careful when you reapply the power. Now looking for the line, and there's the line and brake. That seemed to work for me. A bit of too aggressive downshifting there, and also a bit of a clumsy exit out of the bus stop. That was going to cost me some time, also going onto the AstroTurf there, but we are down into a 240.936, and I tried to keep going, but I was running wide, and yeah, let's just park the car. So now I have done a little under 40 minutes, and I did try for the rest of my first hour, but I just couldn't find any more pace. So this is where I ended after an hour. Same result. Now it's time for a cup of coffee. And now let's jump into the VR headset. And as usual, it took some time for me to get up to speed in VR, but this car is very suited for it. There's great visibility. You've got the 2 front fenders, which makes it easy to place the car. It was just getting used to getting around the corners, still avoiding the bollards and all that stuff. We are flowing through here, going to short shift up to 4th gear, really close to the bollards, but we keep it together also on the inside there. And now we are going through pull-on. I'm staying in 4th gear. The thing helping to turn your car is actually when you release the brake, when you're braking into pull-on. And the faster you release the brake, the more rotation you will get. So you have to control it with that. So that was just a thing I would like to mention. We are about to finish this lap. This was only going to be a tiny improvement compared to my flat screen lap. We are coming into the bus stop. Once again, I am by accident doing that silly downshift thing. When you see me do it, it's mostly unintentional because I don't really like it. But we're going across the line in a 240.930, so that was 6 thousandths of a second faster. And I tried to keep going, but unfortunately I was running wide, and now I am just going to park the car into this lovely sign. So let's go and have a look. Yeah, that was really a small improvement. Now on to my final run, and I'm not going to interrupt this one. This is going to be a mix of VR and replay footage. So looking for the 100 board, braking dead on that one, down through the gears up to 3rd gear, making sure to straighten out the steering wheel as you get onto the power. That is also helping me in VR to see how much I'm turning. As soon as you hit the hill, that's where you want to lift and make your steering corrections, because after that it's just flat out and you don't really have that much steering left apart from understeering. As we come up towards the end of the straight, the 100 board on the right hand side is my visual reference, but I also use the split time beep as a reference. And immediately after that split time, I hit the brakes. We are down to 3rd gear, staying in 3rd gear, making sure to try to get some, that wasn't actually the best line. You have to get further to the left to swing the car back over to the right, but I am borderline scared of that corner. Now coming down the hill, staying in 3rd gear, just be patient around this corner and get all the way to the right hand side to give some room to maneuver on through this corner up to 4th gear. Also a weak corner for me. In fact, this entire second sector is a tough one, but that corner in particular and the other corner I mentioned. Now we're going through pull-on, staying in 4th gear. There are some tiny lifts off the throttle to make sure to keep the car on the line. Now using the gantry as a reference, making sure not to overcook this sort of late apex on that one. Give some room for myself to turn in, not run wide. I'm almost running wide, but we are still on the track. Now these corners, that's the tricky one as well. A small lift off through this corner, and now we are just flat out for a bit towards Blanchimont. I think it's called that corner I'm coming into now. where I just have to lift off slightly, roughly using the shadow from the trees as a lift-off reference. The shadow is coming up over here, and make sure to ease on the power when you get back on that. Now using the line before the 150 board and getting the car stopped. Once again, a bit too aggressive downshifting, but we will let that one slide up to third gear, and we are going across the line in a 2-minute 40.453. And this is where we end this after 1 hour in flat screen, 10 minutes of coffee break, and then roughly 1 hour in VR. I tried a fair bit more, but I got stuck for today, so I decided to leave this. I will get back to see if there's more in it. I also have a couple of more accounts to do this on. I hope you enjoyed the video, found it entertaining, and maybe even somewhat useful. Have a happy new year, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.